Hello, everybody. Let's get the right screen on. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. And welcome along to our championship preview and predictions show ahead of round 2. We are into the grind now. And remember, we go into a 3-game week, our first of the season, coming up. Beautifully timed, no doubt. Our championship preview show is the one we're going to look through each and every game, one by one. As ever, don't complain about the running order. It's down the bottom there. And we go from the top of the table downwards throughout the season. We are partnered with our friends at Betfair. And we'll be having a little look at each of the games and the odds and what you can go and do over Betfair. Please gamble responsibly. And of course, we are partnered up with Football 365, where right throughout the season, you can see articles from me each and every week. Right. Elephant in the room. I am now a father. I've been in the hospital for since Tuesday morning. The baby has been born. They are both still there. I have a lovely little daughter. Please don't congratulate me after you see the slog that poor old Shaylee has gone through. Because of COVID, I'm only allowed to be there 2 hours a day. And I'm going from 4 until 6. And she may be kept in for another day. We're going to post a picture when we know everything's okay. It's all a little bit, you know how it is if you've had children yourself. So forgive me if I'm a little bit spaced out. Forgive me if I don't have the slightest idea what went wrong in the League Cup. I got sent home last night and I've had 12 hours sleep, which was very, very strange. So just wait and see. And hopefully we'll get Shaylee home. We'll get my daughter home, and then we'll tweet a picture. But all good. Hopefully, all precautionary with Shaylee, who had a tough time yesterday morning between about the hours of 2 a.m. and 9:46 a.m. So for everybody asking, that's the situation, and I may as well do the stream. I'm stuck at home until 4 p.m. when I can go down to Luton and see Shaylee there. Guys, amazing. Thank you all again. I'm sure all you blokes here will understand. Don't congratulate me in the slightest. Congratulate her, for goodness sake. So there we go. Right, let's get into this. We are in Championship Round 2 now. And there is, we're going to use this now going forward, the Football 365 sort of live suite over there, football365.com. There are your fixtures. The 12:30 kickoff is Posh and Darby at 8 p.m. Those are our 2 Sky games, Swansea and Sheffield United. And then the 3 p.m.s, and this is good, it's a 3-game week, so we have 10 3 p.m.s. Barnsley Cov, Birmingham Stoke, Huddersfield Fulham, Hull QPR, Borough Bristol City, Millwall Blackburn, Forest Bournemouth, Reading Preston, Baggies Luton, Blackpool Cardiff, and as I mentioned, Swans Sheffield United. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Obviously, the schedule on the channel now, we're going to make it up as we go along. There will likely be slightly less live streams for the next 2 to 3 weeks, but we'll figure it out and we'll try and keep the content coming. But obviously, big changes at home are about to happen. Right. Shall we do this then? The running order's down the bottom. So first off, we are going to talk Hull QPR. Get your comments in on Hull versus QPR. And if you would like to make a prediction, just give me Hull, draw, or QPR. Hull, draw, or QPR on this one. Hull were obviously our first day heroes, weren't they? Winning 4-1 up at Preston. A flying start there for Hull. QPR drawing. You'll have to excuse me about the one drawn. I'm new to this one, but they did draw indeed last week. QPR against Millwall on their opening day. You can see Betfair are giving you 7-4 for Hull, 21-10 for the draw, 13-8 for QPR. Can Hull keep riding out that early season momentum, which seemed to have gone straight through from last season, didn't it, up at Preston? They went behind, but they did look good value, didn't they? Lewis Potter and Wilkes, as we expected, starred on the wings. McGuinness already on the score sheet. And yes, there were 2 goals from 85 minutes onwards, but they looked decent. QPR did not get off to a winning start, as we mentioned, drawing at home to Millwall in what we were kind of plugging as the battle of the dark horses there for the playoffs. So bit of a tricky one to call this one. Warburton teams kind of build up momentum as they go, and we're expecting them to be good from the off, QPR, this season. Shall we see what you guys are saying in the chat on this one? Let's try and grab out some comments here. Did I have gas in there? Didn't need it, but yeah, somebody else did. Right, what are we looking here? Hull, draw, Hull, draw, Hull, draw. Not a lot of love for QPR, I was going to say, and then a few jump straight there. Nathan says 2-1 for Hull. I'm struggling on this one. I'm going to bung up all of your predictions. You would think, playing into what Liam says, who is a Hull fan, you would think there's going to be goals in this one, wouldn't you? QPR don't set up to go and get draws and things of that nature, do they? And Hull seemed pretty open. That's an interesting one there. James saying Wilkes injured. Hopefully that's not too big an injury issue. There we go. Right, I think I've got all the predictions in. I'm half tempted to throw in my first draw of the day, for goodness sake. So Chris adds, Wilkes is out along with Honeyman and Elder. If it is going to be a draw, I think both sides will score, won't they? Are QPR already in the mode to go away and get an away win? We thought kind of in pre-season they might be, but I think maybe Hull's momentum and feel good might make me land on that one. So let's go with, I think, who was it? James, who was saying, I don't know whether it'll be a 3-3, but draw. We'll get in there with a draw. To be fair, you lot all ripped me last week. I think I went for 5 draws. There were 6 in the end last week. So, very, very draw happy. Right, let's move on now to game number 2, which is West Brom versus Luton Town. So get me your thoughts in on this one. West Brom, draw or Luton? West Brom, draw or Luton? West Brom first match under Valérien Ismaël up at the Hawthorns. And West Brom drawing in the season curtain raiser down Bournemouth, didn't they? 2-2 on the Friday night. We did that as a watch along. Luton, big win for them against the Posh. They won 3-0 on opening day. Lots of optimism for Luton. Difficult one, this one, away at West Brom. You know what I always say about Luton? Have a bad day and they will beat you. I don't know whether we're going to get as many of those real close, sneaky away wins that Luton got last season with the stadiums back full again. Betfair will give you 4-6. So West Brom strong favourites there. Long price for Luton, 4-1. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's we'll bring that one up first. David, that is, do you know what? I've got a bottle of water ready for this stream as well, and I don't have it. So I'll raise a fake glass to you, David. That is hugely, hugely kind whatever is good for Shaylee. I think some sleep. We can buy her some sleep, but that's very, very kind. Let's have a look and see what you guys are saying here. Is anyone else supposed to be working and wagging it? Nice one, Lee. You love to see it. There's Brian. We'll put that one up. He's a Luton fan and a colleague of Shaylee's. And he lives about 2 minutes from the hospital as well. So he's a lot closer to my missus and my daughter than I am at the moment. There we go. Right. Luton, West Brom, Luton, West Brom, West Brom. West Brom, West Brom, West Brom, Luton, Luton, West Brom, West Brom. Nothing on the draw in this one. We are going all in. West Brom to be very physical this season. You would imagine. Let's keep all of those scrolling down there. So the question for me really is, as it pertains to that comment about the physicality, I think with certain sides, not a sellout, buzzing for Saturday, first time in 18 months, says Oliver. I assume he's referring to the Hawthorns. It's how teams are going to stand up to West Brom, and that was the kind of issue with Barnsley last season. I thought West Brom looked fairly decent against Bournemouth. It was, let's be fair, it was a mistake for the first goal, wasn't it? And kind of a sucker punch at the start of the second half. And other than that, I thought West Brom, they were fairly reasonably comfortable at Bournemouth. Okay, they didn't go there and win, did they? What price the baggies? 6-4 on. So you're going to win money, all of those people who've projected a Luton win. Again, I will suggest, and I don't want to be typecasting Luton as, maybe they could get as high as top 10, but they probably won't finish too low into the bottom half if they do finish in the bottom half. But tricky away games, you do feel Luton in a couple of seasons will be a big threat to them, but they're still in that journey now of becoming a sort of top half side, aren't they? So let's go with size on this one. It wouldn't be very un-Luton to prove me wrong, would it? But I'm going to go for West Brom and Big Val to get his first home win in this one. So I'm going to go with the odds-on favourites. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I just think goal threat. I think Luton could score up there. I think goal threat. I'm going to give this one to West Brom and go for a home win. We are going to move on to, let's call it the Gary Rowett Derby, which is Birmingham versus Stoke. Two winners on opening day. Get your predictions in for Birmingham versus Stoke. In fact, this must be the only all-winning clash. So all I need to know is Birmingham, draw, or Stoke. Birmingham, draw, or Stoke in this one. There's your prices there. Birmingham 17-10. Just really, really short favourite over Stoke there at 9-5, 2-1 for the draw over from our friends on Betfair. Get your predictions in. Birmingham, draw, or Stoke. I don't know how weird the Birmingham Stadium is going to look this weekend, obviously, because there's issues there with a couple of the stands. If you're a Patreon member, I think John told us about that on the round table we did on that. Birmingham, hugely impressive win. They did a job, didn't they, on Sheffield United? Taith Chong particularly impressed. Max Collin with the only goal. Birmingham started really where they left off after the international break at the end of last season, where they stonked to survival, didn't they, under Lee Bowyer? A couple of sort of poor results right at the end of the season, but Bowyer was starting to pop in the young players. And we saw another Bellingham, didn't we? I do know that about the League Cup this weekend. Stoke, who never fail to kind of confuse me when I'm doing my pre-season predictions, got off to a win. Sam Surridge got off to a goal-scoring start off the bench, didn't he? He won 3-2 against Reading. Bit of a topsy-turvy one with 3 goals in 3 minutes in the first half. They've added Leo Ostigard as well now, who was good on loan for Coventry. Another Brighton centre-back. How many do they have? And with Wilmot coming in and Surridge and Ostigard, okay, they lost Nathan Collins. They do look like they're in net positive now for recruitment. And as soon as Tyrese Campbell comes back, that starts to look good. Look, let's be very, very plain about this. Both of these sides are happy not to have the ball. I know someone's got to have the ball. Both of these sides are good without it, aren't they? Sturdy team shape, good defensively. So perhaps this could be, famous last words, a low scorer, couldn't it? Let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. We just got to say another big thank you. Chris, that's very kind. Chris, a £25 super chat. Thank you very, very much. Very kind. A couple of very big bonuses, as Chris says, your baby bonuses. Very, very kind indeed. Draw, Birmingham 1-0, 1-1. Stoke Blues, draw. 0-0, 1-1. Can see where these ones are heading. We'll hopefully get all of these up on the screen. Look, I'm with you guys who are kind of going 0-0, 1-1, 0-1. I don't think there is going to be too much in it at all. Harry Souttar off a corner. Does he return now? Because he didn't play, didn't he? 8 months to sort out the repairs. Yeah, haven't done it at all. Yeah, Liam. Look, if Liam Delap returns, goes to Stoke on loan from Man City and Tyrese Campbell returns, then we will start getting excited about the net positive in Stoke's recruitment. Had time when fans wasn't there and when the season ends, but they decide to do it now. The game of football will be a winner in this one. You love to see it. Before I do my prediction, let's just say a quick thank you to David, a super chat there. Congratulations to you and the missus on your baby Joe. As much hard work. Try and enjoy it as much as you can. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, please push your congratulations in Shaylee's direction, having now seen what a female goes through during birth. I have nothing but admiration. Right, a low scorer. Who's going to win? Do you know? I think it could be 0-0 or 1-1. Let's do it again. Bowyer and O'Neill. Draw. Remember, projecting a draw is not sitting on the fence. There were 6 last week. Okay, let's move on. Millwall versus Blackburn. Millwall versus Blackburn. Get your predictions in for this one. Millwall, a draw last week. Blackburn with a victory, indeed, over Swansea. They didn't have much possession, but they won the game. Obviously, elephant in the room for Blackburn is now Adam Armstrong, who has left. Let's be quite honest. We all expected Adam Armstrong to be leaving Blackburn. He's gone to Southampton. 15 million quid. I know a 40% proportion of the profits go to Newcastle, don't they, for a well-written contract, frankly, by Mike Ashley, although some people would have said keep the player rather than take the few million quid that you get for him. But some money into Blackburn now. We do expect them to get involved in the transfer market. However, look, Brereton, Dolan, Gallagher, plenty of forward players there. So we'll see where they do invest. For Millwall, decent enough start for the Lions. A draw away at QPR last time out. Cooper's still there as far as I know. Wallace is still there as far as I know. They beat Pompey again. Apologies for not being across the League Cup. They beat Pompey in midweek. So my laptop off screen is telling me. Could do with Benicophobe getting on the score sheet early here, but they look set up and they look like they know what they're doing. So I might break the habit of a lifetime here and go ahead of the chat. Betfair 7-5 for Millwall, just Well, no, fair favourites there over Blackburn at 19 to 20. 21 to 10 for the draw. I haven't looked at the comments, but I am going to go ahead of the comments. Famous last words here. Nothing to do with Armstrong, but I think Millwall are going to win this one. I think Blackburn are going to stabilise after some signings, and I think they did benefit from Swansea being in a debut game from Russell Martin. Anyway, who cares what I think? Let's see what you guys say in the chat. I have gone for home. Mikey has not gone for home. He's just giving it a big old meal. There we go. Always nice to hear one of them. I was talking to, this is the weird conversations I have with my missus, talking to Shaylee about meals. And I wonder how it differentiates in pitch, depending on, like if you get a meal just after Millwall have scored, how much higher it would be than, just a mid-second half long meal, for example. But there we go. I don't know why I've shared that conversation with you. As you can see, I'm not quite with it today, but what are you going to do? Millwall, Blackburn, Millwall, packed den. Millwall, you love a packed den, don't you? Millwall draw, Millwall roared on by huge crowds. Chris, can you measure the pitch of the meals for that one? Let's just quickly rattle through these. Hopefully, you're all getting your predictions up on the screen there because we love your interaction here. Look, I've already gone for a home win in that one. And we are going to be back imminently. Sorry, I should put that back up on the screen. I will get in trouble if I don't have that on the screen. Remember, we are sponsored by Betfair and Football 365 for the preview show this season. Let me just do a quick plug. As ever, get your comments in, have your say, drive the knowledge. Please hit like if you're watching. Helps drive people to the stream. Hit subscribe. I could actually update that. I did nothing for the last 2 days other than look at my missus in pain. And the subscriber numbers went up. So maybe we should do that more often, but Shaylee will probably not be into that. Thank you for your super chats today. Chris and who was the other massive one? It was David, wasn't it? I think two Davids we've had as well. So thank you very, very much all. Very, very kind. And of course, you can sign up to our wonderful community over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. And we'll do some type of vlog when my daughter actually enters my house for the first time. Right. What we're going to do now, though, is talk about Barnsley versus Coventry. So I need your predictions in just in the form of Barnsley, draw, or Coventry. If you want to give me your hypothesis, please do as well in a separate comment, and we'll try and get as many of them on the screen as possible. Barnsley versus Coventry, predictions in down the side, please. Barnsley, draw, or Coventry. Coventry victorious heroically in the 96th minute of their return to they didn't return to the Ricoh Arena. They returned to the Coventry City Building Society Stadium, Coventry Building Society Stadium. I don't know. Naming rights, everybody. Got to be done now. You've got to circumvent FFP some way, haven't you? And sponsoring the stadium seems the latest way of doing that. Yeah, and someone's going to need to let me know ahead of time what the Swansea Stadium's called now. Because they're literally taking liberties. That's not my joke, but that's changed name as well. So Coventry late win, McFadzean with a 96th minute goal against Forest. Barnsley got a creditable draw, didn't they, over at Cardiff, where, look, let's be fair, people will come a cropper this season. It was a new look Barnsley team. Kitchen gets the start. Styles started in midfield. Williams at left wing back. Fraser, Woodrow, Morris, obviously no DK, no Mowat, no Ishmael. We've been over it, but fairly good sort of lineage from season to season, as you would imagine for Barnsley. What did Betfair say? Let's have a look there. Betfair say Barnsley are odds on to win this one, 23-10 for the draw. Coventry outsiders. Will Marcus Shop get his first win in the Championship as Barnsley manager? What are you guys saying here? Let's try and find the beginning of this one. I'm going to assume that Jack is saying draw to start this one. Barnsley draw, Cov. Barnsley draw, Barnsley draw, Barnsley draw. Let's try and get as many of these up on the screen as possible. As I'm reading this, I think I'm with you guys on Barnsley. I think Coventry will grow into the season. No McCallum, no Ostergaard, no James. Some good loanees. I think they will click at some point. But again, they might be a bit of a slow starter. And despite Marcus Shop being a new manager, when you have a look, I do see just a little bit more synergy there, perhaps with Barnsley. There you go. Declan says obvious draw. He may be right, but I am going to go home and back the Tykes to get a first win of the season. We will find out, won't we, how quickly Marcus Shop is going to get things going. Barnsley fans will hope I'm right. Coventry fans will hope I'm wrong, and that this stayed stability under Mark Robbins will get them the win in this one. I haven't gone for an away win yet. Maybe I better go for one on this next one. We will find out. We'll see what you guys are saying, because the next one is Forest versus Bournemouth. Forest versus Bournemouth. Please, somebody help me out, because I did scroll Twitter in the bath earlier after my 12 hours sleep and see that João Carvalho returned for Forest and actually scored. I thought that was all dead and gone, João Carvalho, but there you go. Maybe he does return to Forest. Get your predictions in, please. Forest, draw, or Bournemouth in this one? Forest, draw, or Bournemouth? I want to know what you think. Forest fans weren't overly impressed with the opener against Coventry. I didn't watch the game, but from the people I spoke to and reading Twitter, which obviously is not the best barometer to judge everything, I know. But we're saying that Forest sort of played well in the first half and then kind of flounced out of the game a bit weakly and ended up going down 2-1 at the end. So not the greatest start for Forest. I did watch the Bournemouth game, and they were better than I expected them to be, actually. I thought we might get a West Brom win in that one, and things might take time. I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen that, but they were all right, weren't they, Bournemouth? And we know they have a lot of quality there. Betfair are making Bournemouth odds-on favourite for this one, 5-2 for Forest and 23-10 for the draw. Can you guys not foresee a scenario here where Houghton sits back in a kind of Houghton-esque way? Parker then tries to do Parker ball and it moves very slowly and we get a draw. Can anyone see that? I know I still haven't gone for an away win here, and this looks like an obvious one. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. What do we got here? Bournemouth, Forest, Bournemouth. Draw, home, away, Bournemouth. Draw, Bournemouth, draw, Bournemouth. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm thinking of changing my mind based on all of the Bournemouths that are coming through here. I might actually be able to get away with saying away win on one of them. Hopefully, you've all got your predictions up on the screen there. To the person who asked about Premier League predictions, given what's happened this week, it may well not happen now. But look, other things took precedence over the last couple of days. Obviously, did all of those get read out? I think they did. A few more just popping up. I'm gonna go with my original thought that Houghton will be happy with a draw and he will get one. Draw. My apologies. I still haven't gone for an away win thus far. Maybe Blackpool will be the victims of that in the next prediction. So let's move on to that one. And it is Blackpool versus Cardiff. Get your thoughts in, please. Blackpool, draw, or Cardiff in this one. Our friends at Betfair are saying that, that's fairly even. Forgive me, I'm not great with odds. I think that makes Cardiff favourites, doesn't it? 13-10 versus 9-4. Yes, indeed it does. Cardiff favourites on this one, 21-10 for the draw. Get your predictions in, please. Blackpool, draw, or Cardiff. Blackpool will be pleased with that start. Although, when I'll bow to Bristol City and Blackpool fans' superior knowledge on this if they watched the game, and I didn't, obviously. The numbers did tell me that maybe that was snatched a bit there by Blackpool at the end, but they got a late draw through that Shane Lavery goal, didn't they? It's going to be welcome to the Championship now because I know they had Nigel Pearson, but they've got Mick McCarthy coming up. Every point's a prisoner, says Mick. And go figure, he got a point, didn't he, against Barnsley. I wonder whether a little bit of McCarthy hard to play against type business, coupled with just a little bit of squad quality things. And if you're a Blackpool fan, don't take it personally. I really enjoy watching them in the playoffs. And I think there's something there with Critchley for sure. But I think Cardiff might win this one. And I think I'm going to go away from the chat. And I haven't had an away win yet, have I? So let's do this. Away. I'm going to go for Big Mick to get the win in this one and just have a little bit too much for Blackpool. Remember, you've got a club used to being below the Championship against a club that a couple of times in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons, I might be going back, have been up in that Premier League. And maybe it'll be early for Blackpool to be winning this type of matchup. As always, we throw it up in the air and we see how it goes. Let me know what you are saying. Let me just read Josh's comment because he probably watched this game. Blackpool were good for the first 15 and the final 15. City controlled the middle 60. There you go. Blackpool didn't deserve the draw, but they were good at times. There you go. Honest assessment from the Bristol City fans there on Blackpool early doors. Let's see what you guys are saying. Cardiff, Blackpool, Blackpool, Blackpool. Cardiff to mick them off the park. Blackpool. There you go. Plenty of you behind Blackpool. Draw. Blackpool, draw. Cardiff. Blackpool, draw. Cardiff. Blackpool, Cardiff. Going to be close. Cardiff, draw. Blackpool. Draw. Blackpool. And yeah, a couple of people asking about Borough, which funnily enough comes next. And we do have the running order ticking along the bottom. Let's just read a couple more other tips there for Cardiff. I have gone for Cardiff as well for an away win, and we will move on. We've just been talking about Bristol City and a couple of Borough fans asking about Borough. So let's get on to that one. And that is our next game, guys. Borough versus Bristol City. So simply put, give me a prediction. Borough, draw, or Bristol City. Borough, draw, or Bristol City in that one. Borough, creditable draw in that first game. Look, I watched it and there was plenty of times I thought, look, Borough are going to lose this game 1 or 2-0. But Warnock made a substitute that I thought, oh, what's he doing here? And then 10 minutes later, he made another one. And then I figured out what he was doing 15 minutes after he'd done it. It's almost like Neil Warnock knows more about football than me, isn't it? Hey, and they snatched the draw, didn't they, in true Warnockian fashion in that one. Like the look of Isaiah Jones, the substitute. Ikpeazu looks like he's going to be a menace, doesn't he, for Borough. I think we'll see Pereiro now probably off the bench in this one. And I think we'll start to see the Borough side that we're expecting to see. Bristol City. Now, I do know in the Carabao Cup that did they lose on penalties to Forest Green? So it's been a little bit of a continuation. If you're a Bristol City fan, just want to see a win. Just want to see some game 1-3-0 or something and loads of chances created and something to make you a bit more steady with this one. But obviously, could have done with hanging on against Blackpool, couldn't they? Just to get off to a win and be over that point per game. So we're not all sitting here saying, oh, are they going to be in trouble this season again? So we haven't seen the evidence of that yet. We may get it up at Borough, where if I'm remembering it correctly, the game where Pearson was up in the stands just after he's taken over, they won at Borough. Was that a bit of an outlier? The numbers last season tell us it was. So ahead of the chat, let me just do the Betfair odds here. Borough odds on 3-4 there. Oh, Bristol City long price there. 18-5, 12-5 on the draw. I'm going to go ahead of the chat and I'm going to go for Borough to win this one. I think Bristol City will sort out a little bit removed from these first couple of games. So, guys, home. I'm going to go for Borough to win this one. But let's see what you lot are saying in the chat. Right, there we go. Oh, dear. Borough, we're going down 100%. That doesn't look good. Bristol City, Borough, draw. Bristol City, Borough, draw, 0-0. Pearson v Warnock. Bristol City always win at the Riverside. Borough. Bristol City, being optimistic, admire your honesty. Borough, draw. Well, look, this, guys, is as close as we've got to a bit of a sweep here. So nailed on away win then, isn't it? But yeah, you guys are fairly strongly behind Borough, aren't you? Interesting. Okay, there we go. We've been made fools of before, haven't we? So don't lose all hope, Bristol City fans. But myself and the chat are forecasting a Warnock win in that one. Right, guys, as ever, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm a bit blurry and in the head after the last 2 days, but we are full steam ahead and we're here with the preview show, which, where do I have to put my finger to point at that one? There we go. I can't get the right angle. Does it in reverse, obviously, when you're on the screen. We're sponsored by, no, that way. There you go. Betfair and Football 365. You're not going to believe this, and you're going to tell me off. When Shaylee was sleeping at the hospital 2 days ago, when she was in early labour, I did write my Football 365 tactical preview, which this week is going to be on Sheffield United's visit to Swansea. And you can read my big weekend preview, which I haven't quite finished yet, if you're watching, Mark. But I will get that across to you. So you can read all that stuff, some detailed stuff on Football 365. I'll let you know a little bit of what I said when we do Swansea Sheffield United. But this is more about what you guys think this show than me. So do go ahead, www.football365.com. And of course, please gamble responsibly. BeGambleAware.org if you are going to have a little flutter on one of this weekend's championship games. Good luck to you, but you get some good odds because it's the hardest league in the whole world to predict. Good luck with this one because we need to talk about Peterborough versus Darby. Get your predictions in for this one. Posh, draw, or Derby. That's all I need to know. Put your hypothesis in a different comment if you want. Posh, draw, or Derby in this one. Did anybody watch the Al Jazeera Investigates, which did have our friend Kieran Maguire on it, didn't it? Some interesting footage there about a possible takeover. I think I'm legally supposed to say alleged takeover there of Darby. There's some footage from probably a couple of years back as well. I should probably say that, but a very interesting watch, that Al Jazeera Investigates documentary, which you can find. It's on YouTube, so you can watch that for free without having to subscribe to anything. Should we say an okay start for Darby, actually? And I'll be totally honest, apologies to Darby fans, I was guilty of this as well. I really got sucked into all the chaos and the takeover stuff and contracts not being signed, that I thought Darby would have like 0 points for quite a long time. And then the team came through at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and I was like, oh, well, there's quite a lot of reasonable championship level players in that. And it's not an entire youth team that we kind of thought it might have been. And Darby got the draw. Look, I mean, Roos, Stearman, Davies, Byrne, Shinnie, Forsyth, Lawrence, Kazim, Richards played a lot of championship games. Obviously, context is king, and we'll find more because they were playing Huddersfield, who have been predicted by a lot of people, me included, to be in and around that bottom 6, bottom 8. And Huddersfield had 4 positive COVID tests, and the manager wasn't there either. So context is king on that one. Derby got a draw and then did progress in the Carabao Cup on penalties against Salford. Again, apologies, I wasn't at all across the Carabao Cup stuff. So look, Derby, anything can happen. Throw it up in the air and they're away from home. Peterborough have had a horrible start to the season, haven't they? They were handily beaten by Luton. And again, I wasn't across the Carabao Cup, but I believe they lost 4-0 at home to Plymouth. We got any posh fans who can let me know what sort of team they played, or whether they just completely put that one to one side and they're concentrating on the league. So this one could frankly go any way you wanted. Who sung that? Journey? Yeah, Betfair. Yeah, that's a Freudian slip with my 2 sponsors there. Betfair are telling us Peterborough 6-5 are slight favourites. Derby 12-5 there. No, actually they're strong favourites, aren't they? You'll get double your money if you bet on Peterborough and they win, and you will on Derby 9-4 for the draw. I haven't got a clue what is going on for this one. So I'm gonna wait and see what the chat says on this one, and we'll see what you guys are saying. Right, there we go. Okay, posh draw, posh. Derby, posh draw, Derby, posh, Derby, posh. A goal fest. That sounds fun. Posh. Derby, posh, draw, posh. Derby. Lee, how dare you do some work during the middle of this stream? There we go. Right, let's make sure you get all your predictions up here. There we go. Let's read that one out. Everyone's overlooking Derby. First team doesn't actually look that bad. Squad depth. I actually agree on all points there, James. Squad depth is going to be the thing. Jeff, thank you very much there. Right. Okay. I think I've got all your predictions on the screen. Reeks of a draw. Yeah, maybe it does. Nice picture, Mr. Parry. There. Right, because this is the championship and the championship is ridiculous, I might play my joker on this one because I have got no reason for thinking logically that Derby will go and beat Peterborough, but I'm going to predict that they're going to. So I'm going to play the joker on this one, which I'm allowed to do once a week, and go for an away win. Away! Derby to beat Peterborough. I'm playing the joker on that one. There we go. Right, we got 3 to go. If you're following down the bottom there, thank you for joining me. It is Huddersfield versus Fulham. Get your predictions in for this one. Huddersfield draw or Fulham is all I need to know on this one. Huddersfield draw or Fulham. Betfair, our sponsors, are giving you Fulham as odds-on favourites for this one at 6-5 on, and Huddersfield 16-5. So good value if you think Huddersfield are going to get the win in this one. Let me know what you think in the chat. We covered Fulham, who looked okay. Warnock made it hard for them, as he did. Wilson looked like he's already at it. I have to say, as much as I love Mitrovic and I predicted him to be the top scorer, he didn't really look at it. But maybe we can give Warnock some credit for that. Or maybe I just give Warnock too much credit for everything because I like him. But there you go. But yeah, Fulham didn't look like a side who were going to take ages to settle down, did they? Put it that way. And although I thought the young fella, Francois, looked good, I do think I think their central midfield will be different players within a few games, put it that way. What do you think? Let me know. Huddersfield took a draw at Darby. COVID problems, I assume. If those players have given positive tests that are negative is all they need and they'll be back. No, positive. I think you still have to. I don't know what the rules are anymore. Do you have to isolate for the full 10 days? I think you do, don't you? I think it's only if you're a contact you can give a negative test and then you're back at work. So it may still be without a couple of those guys. Forgive me for not being able to keep up with what the hell the rules are now around isolation. Looks like a tricky one for Huddersfield, I think. I'm not going to go ahead of the chat. I'll see what you guys say. I'm edging on Fulham already on this one. What are you guys saying in the chat? Let's start here. Come. Harsh on poor old Cavaliero. Right, Fulham. Draw. Fulham. A lack of sleep. He's losing it. I'm struggling, aren't I? Fulham. Oh, it's a bit of a sweep on here. We'll try and click all of your predictions up. But yeah, I think you are convincing me now, guys, to go with an away win. There we go. And a heavy one, says Ben as well. Lee's playing his Joker. That's allowed. Don't blame me. The rules change every day. Yeah, what are you going to do? And more South Americans or Hispanic players looking at that name, forgive me, linked with Borough. Right, we're all together on this one. So as I always throw in the caveat, it's the championship. So here comes on a nailed on home win. But away, let's go for Fulham to win up at Huddersfield. Will Mitro get on the scoring sheets? Right, I am fascinated by this one because this one already smacks of two managers that need a win, doesn't it? Reading versus Preston. Get your predictions in via the chat. Reading, draw, or Preston. Reading, draw, or Preston. Reading kicked off with that away defeat. You can tell I haven't slept and then I had loads, can't you? I'm completely out of it today. I'm trying my best, for goodness sakes. So Reading lost up at Stoke, didn't they? But team looked all right. Ajaria will come back. Maite's long-term. Swift back in. Goal and an assist. Always puts up the numbers, does Swift. Had to play a couple of youngsters down the left-hand side. Did someone come in today? Someone tweeted me just before. Who's just arrived at Reading? Deli Bashiru, who was at Sheffield Wednesday last season. I think. Was Osai Tutu linked with them as well? Look, there's going to be some loans coming at Reading with that soft embargo. So, pretty tricky start, really, going up to Stoke and Michael O'Neill on that first game for Reading. For Preston, they took a bit of a hiding, didn't they? And they took a bit of a hiding off a side that were in the division below this last season. So you'd think McAvoy, Paunovic really, really need a victory here. I think it probably edges towards Reading with it being a home game as well. And then you'd start to fear for Preston if they go a few games without getting above that point per game before the start of the season. We thought it might be tricky for them. Betfair tell us it's 5-4 for a Reading win. Favourites with Preston there at 23-10, 11-5 on the draw. I'm not certain how this one plays out. I think Reading in the week lost at home heavily, didn't they, to Swansea in the Carabao Cup. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Went 8 games without a win last season, then battered Swansea 4-1. Don't put us in your racket, lads, says James. Is that a Preston one? I can't remember. Right, draw, 0-0 draw, Reading. Reading, draw, Reading. Draw, Reading. Plenty on the draw here, you guys. Not a lot. Krissy, though, going for Reading. 2 managers that need a win means a draw. There you go. Zhao hat-trick. Reading 2-1. We need a win. And I think we'll get it, says Ash. Let's keep scrolling down here and making sure all your predictions are Swift's hamstring cramped. And Yao dislocated his shoulder. Both play with recurring problems. Not good. Oh, it was under 19s, was it? There you go. The romance of the Carabao Cup. I think Reading are going to win. I do. And I don't need to justify it to you because it's a guess, it's a prediction. But I will. I think home advantage and a little bit of extra quality still in that Reading team over Preston, who were punching to get 7th a few seasons back, weren't they? I think. Home. Let's go for Reading to get their first positive result of the season. Right. Our last one is on Saturday night at 8 p.m. on Sky. I may or may not be able to watch this one. We'll try. We'll see how we're all getting on at home. Depends on my missus' sleep patterns, doesn't it? Swansea versus Sheffield United. Get your predictions. Swansea, draw, or Sheffield United in this one. And if we build Birmingham versus Stoke as the battle of 2 teams who don't care whether they have the ball or not, let's build this one as the battle of both teams, neither of which can have 70% possession in this one, you would think, being they both want to keep that ball. Both Swansea and Sheffield United recorded 70+% possession in their openers last week and lost. So this could either be, and I've written this in my Football 365 preview, which will be put up on the website tomorrow. This will either be incredibly tedious and both sides will sit each in front of each other and ping the ball about and it will be 50-50 on the possession and 0-0. Or this will be absolutely brilliant and it'll be really open and end to end. They're both going to take a while to settle, aren't they, under Russ Martin and Slavica Jokanovic. You would imagine in terms of quality, if the game is very evenly matched and hopefully not, but possibly tedious, that would ebb an edge towards Sheffield United. But if it goes towards pattern of play, who's getting there the quickest? Is it Jokanovic or is it Martin? I don't know. This is a difficult one to call. Betfair, is that advert in the way? Is that a Sage advert? I thought that was a government advert then, but no, it's something to do with cash flow. There we go. Other cash flow apps are available. They don't sponsor the show, by the way. 2-1 for a Swansea win is a hefty price for a playoff finalist playing at home 2 games into a new season. Blades, 7-5 favourites. 2-1 the draw. I'm going to be all bold and brash here. And I think this game is going to be very, very tight. And I think it's going to land on quality. And I think Sheffield United are going to edge it. Sorry, Swans fans. So I'm going to go ahead of the chat, famous last words, away, and assume that one moment of quality wins it and the rest of the game will be both sides passing the ball in front of each other. If that doesn't happen, then something's gone wrong defensively with either the Swansea or the Sheffield United pattern of play, or something clicks very, very early in the season and one of these sides will gloriously rip through the other. Who the hell knows? I've gone for an away win. What are you guys saying up there in the chat? Here we go. Draw, Swans, Blades. Blades, Swans. Swans can 100% see Brewster scoring. There you go. There's your narrative written from Connor. Good call. Draw, Blades, draw. Do you know what? I was very heavy on the draw, but I've already got 1, 2, 3 of them. So I've eased off a little bit there. There were 6 draws last week. Draw, Blades, Swans, Blades, draw, Swans. If the keeper doesn't have another mare. Yeah, Bender. He did actually have good numbers other than completely taking, who was it? Dolan down for a penalty against Blackburn, wasn't he? Swans, Blades, draw, Blades, Swans. 90% possession for Blades, no shots. And a 2-0 defeat. There we go. And then been told we had no brains. Lee, dearie me. Can someone go and talk to Lee? He's very anxious about this new managerial reign here at Blades. There we go. Right. Let's, I'll recap all the predictions at the end, Jake, of course. Right. Have we got all of them? Oh, yes. And good luck to Flynn Downs. Betting against him. Yeah. He's not going to, one player doth not make a team in the championship unless he's Emi Buendia, Pablo Hernandez, Tammy Abraham, Sander Berger, maybe after what I've seen from him. There we go. McBurney and Brewster, of course. Right. Bielsa has signed a new contract. That's quite good for him, isn't it, Bielsa? 2 days before the season starts. Owen, I'll check my DMs in a little bit. Buddy. Right. I went for already an away win on that one. So we are all done. We can do a little bit of Q&A now for the rest of the show. So get your questions in and we'll do a little bit of Q&A for as long as you want to do it. Here are my predictions for round 2. Let me just top these up. I have gone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home wins. 1, 2, 3 draws. 1, 2, 3, 4 away wins. I knew I shouldn't have calculated what the average was last season because that is the exact average for last season. So I went for Hull and Rangers to draw, Baggies to beat Luton, Blues and Stoke to draw, Millwall to beat Blackburn, Barnsley to beat Cov, Forest and Bournemouth to draw, Cardiff to win at Blackpool, Borough to beat Bristol City, Derby to win at Posh, that was my joker, Fulham to win at Huddersfield, Reading to beat Preston, and Blades to win at Swans. Okay, let's do a couple of plugs and then we'll do some Q&A. Thank you, as ever, which way do I have to point, to Betfair and Football 365 for sponsoring our preview shows all season. You love to see it. And please hit the subscribe button before you go. Try and get us towards 19,000. And then hopefully at some point in the season, we'll get over 20,000 subscribers. Right, let's do some questions. Jake, is Jed Wallace Premier League quality yet? Do you know what? I don't think he is yet. I think he's dangerously in really good championship player, but maybe not Premier League quality yet. I need to see another one of those seasons where he gets double figures in goals and assists for me to think that someone's going to blow a big wad of cash on him. Bakayo Bloom for the baby. She is female, so no, it won't be Bakayo Bloom, but we'll let Shaylee do all of that. Go and give her a follow on Instagram and you'll see it. Commitment to the cause. Watching this from an airport. Well done, Alistair. Where are you going? Can you see Darby surprising a few this season and getting 21st? Possibly. It all depends on chaos, Tom. if there's no more chaos, they get taken over before January and they add a few players and they don't get many injuries and there's chaos at other clubs, then they can survive, of course. But if they get some injuries, there's more nonsense at the club, they can't bring anyone in, then they probably will go down. But so far, so good. 1 point from one game. 45 to survive. That'll probably keep them up. Any views on Deli Bashiru from Watford? Didn't really get on the pitch much for Sheffield Wednesday, so I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. Ben, who do you think would be an ideal striker to bring in now Armstrong has left? Ben, I've got a funny feeling they won't invest it up that end of the pitch. I think they might think that Brereton, Gallagher and Dolan is enough. I think they might strengthen in other areas, you know? Does that sound stupid considering he scored 28 goals last season? I wonder whether there's a need in other areas of the pitch at Blackburn. Let me know what you think of that. What can Swans expect from Flynn Downs? A good player, Connor. And I guess the next question is, why would a good player have been playing in League One and you'd be able to get him after two seasons in League One? Look, Downs played in the Championship under McCarthy at a very young age. He looked all right. Then there was all of that nonsense and relegation for Ipswich. And he looked all right. Then Ipswich went down and other players left. Then last season, there was a 2 million bid from Palace, who of course are in the Premier League, and that was rejected. And then he kind of lost it a little bit. And Marcus Evans kept him as some kind of statement. And his head kind of went a little bit. He's a young guy and his heart and his head weren't quite there, which is sort of understandable, I guess. But I think he's a good player. And he'll give you the grit you need in a Russ Martin team. Put it that way. He will get some bookings where you think, oh, he's going to get sent off in this game. He looks like he's completely lost it. But no, I like him. Good player. Ben, you should set up a fantasy football league. I did that last season and couldn't keep up with the grind. So I'm not going to do that again this season. But it was a struggle to keep up. Right. Any other questions? Bit off topic, but Ipswich, Ben, hopeful. I think you have to be very patient with Ipswich. They're miles away from clicking. They've got loads of good players. What I've learned about League One is good players will get you in the top 10 for the first 3 months of the season. And then when pattern of play starts to improve across teams, as it does around November, December. So don't be surprised if they are in the top 10, top 8 without playing well. But I think there's going to have to be patience. Of course, if it clicks, in theory, Ipswich will get promoted because they've got Paul Cook, who's very good at that level, and loads of players have proven to be good at that level. But no evidence yet of it clicking. And Burton away with Jimmy Floyd, who did click last season. So don't be surprised if Ipswich don't hit 1.5 points per game for 7 or 8 games, which is going down like an absolute fart in church amongst Ipswich Twitter. Thoughts on Garner rejecting a new Man United contract? Well, you would assume the pay would have been very good, but it's kind of nice to see a player saying, look, I'm not going to get in the team at Manchester United if Pogba and whoever is there. So, yeah, it's brave. And maybe the journey with James Garner is that he'll be at another club and he'll find his way back to the Premier League. Very good at Forest at times last season. So, yeah, good luck. Good luck to him. Favourite Sheffield team. I love both of them absolutely equally with their big fan bases and lots of subscribers we've got from both teams. Sorry, headbutted someone. That was in a friendly against Cambridge here on Flynn Downs. Could I mention my link? No, go, get involved. QPR forever. Russell, I can tell you everything. Born yesterday morning. We can't tell you the name. I think Shaylee wants to wait and do a nice picture and do all of that. Healthy, yes. Gender, female. Weight, big. Poor old Shaylee. There we go. Do you think Bournemouth will make any signings? Yes, but I think they'll sell Danjuma before they do. I don't think both Danjuma and Billing will leave, but I think we'll see activity. If they do sell both, I think they'll make 3 or 4 signings. So we'll see how that one pans out. Pick a 5-a-side team from current Championship players. Okay, so 5-a-side, you need players that can do everything, don't you? So 5-a-side for my keeper, I'll go for Dieng from QPR. So I'm probably just going to pick 5 midfielders. I'll go for Berger from Sheffield United. I'll go for Flynn Downs. Actually, we'll stick him in there. Marcondes, because he doesn't have to run around a full pitch. Do I want a finisher? I was going to go for Brewster, but I don't want to have 2 Sheffield United players. Who else shall I go for? I'll go for Keane Lewis Potter then, in that case. And I'll go for Brennan Johnson. I think he'd be a good 5-a-side player as well. If we do win the league with 100 points, can you promise to do clips of my best? Yes, absolutely. Someone clip out Lee's most outrageous comments about Sheffield United early this season. Shots. I think Darby will finish top 16. Yeah, look, there's an argument. It's all about chaos and negating it and hoping bad stuff happens at other teams. Annie, do you think Pearson is under serious threat if we continue the form? Oh, God, he'll be gone if you continue the form from last season because it was awful, wasn't it? 10, 15 games. Do you know what? You've probably just identified the low bar. It'll be 10 to 15 games in last season's form. If that's not improved, then I think he might even jack it in himself for sure. Super streams on Saturday. Look, again, Leeds 2021. Honestly, the plan is, I would imagine, 1 video or stream per day if I can do it. And that depends on me being around baby for the rest of the day as well. So hopefully, yeah. And if I do a stream on Saturday, it will be the super stream at 3 p.m. and not a watch along. But we'll see. We'll see how everything pans out for sure. Thoughts on Bournemouth v Norwich in Cup? I want to win and have a cup run. From which point of view there? I suspect both of those clubs will be playing reserve teams in the Cup. I assume that's Carabao. Yeah, it has to be. Doesn't it? Do I think Fulham need to strengthen anywhere in particular? Well, look, if Mitrovic can't get his act together, you might need an auxiliary forward there. No, I genuinely don't think they do. There's so much quality there. I'm sure we could all sit here and pick a Fulham team on paper that could win the division, don't we? And I think that just tells us a lot about post-COVID haves and have-nots. Dark horses for League One and Championship. So, look, a dark horse in the Championship, let's be honest, bearing in mind what we just said, Declan, would be anyone other than... if any side who's not got parachute payments, Fulham, West Brom, Bournemouth, and oh God, my brain is shot today. Who else came down? Fulham, West Brom, and I'm so sorry for Sheffield United missing out that team. If any of those sides get to the playoff final and have one game to get promoted, I think every one of the other 20 teams would take that right now in a heartbeat. In League One, God, it's hard. There's some big teams in League One, isn't it? Would you class Oxford as a dark... Oxford aren't a dark horse, are they? MK, maybe in League One as a dark horse, if they can get a good managerial hire. But when you got Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Oxford, Ipswich, Pompey, Charlton, there's some big teams in League One for sure. Lee, serious question. Will Wilder be the next to take a big Championship job? I would think Wilder would only take a parachute team. I think he'd look at a Premier League job. But then I was thinking as well, Roy Hodgson as well is sat there ready to do a 1-year contract at someone who's struggling in the Premier League, aren't they? Thoughts on Francois and Carvalho for Fulham? Really enjoyed them. I think Francois will ultimately get replaced when Harrison Reed or Tom Kearney will be there and Josh Onama's there. I think Carvalho could play 30, 40 games. He looks really handy, doesn't he, for sure? Joe, Ramsdale, I think a couple of people asking about Ramsdale. Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah, I was talking about Dan Juma and Billing. Actually, you two guys are right there. If Arsenal are in, then honestly, maybe Billing will stay. You'd say, surely they won't sell all three, will they? Surely not, unless they're getting crazy, stupid money. Their favourite kit in the Championship. Not the Nottingham Forest third kit. That's an interesting one, isn't it? I quite like the Peterborough away kit, the dark one with the pink on. And didn't someone else have a very familiar one? I quite like a lot of the black, I like the Hull away kit as well. A couple of close ones there. Burton, dark horse. Don't tell me that, Logan. Burton are playing Ipswich at the weekend. Right. Thank you, everyone. Apologies for my weird brain today. Obviously, a lot going on. Thank you to Betfair and Football 365 for sponsoring our shows this season. Make sure you hit subscribe. Bear with me on content and everything. We will try and be consistent and have a stream up most days. If there's a day I miss, then so be it. Apologies if that's a regular show as well that we normally do. Please don't expect full, because sometimes there's more than one video per day. That's probably not going to happen. So we will try our absolute best, okay? Thank you to Tony. Get the missus a pint. Actually, I was talking to her. Can I buy a cocktail with that? Because she was talking about not having had a drink for 9 months. Bless her. So there we go. Thank you for all your congratulations, which, as I say, I will pass on to the missus for sure. I don't deserve them. And I think that should just about do us for round 2 Championship preview and predictions. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like before you go. And it's a big, lovely over and out from me. And I get to go and see my daughter in about an hour's time. So onward and upward. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.